counted. That's a big number. Hey, foreign cars, foreign seats with the foreign level.
Hey, everybody, it's the coach, and this is Matt.
Downtown between Brush Street and I-375. That's where we're located in the heart of Detroit at Ford Field, which first opened back in 2002. Today, it's week 3, and we've got a good one in store between the Carolina Panthers and the Detroit Lions. And the decision to bring it out is going to cost him about 7 yards all told as he's taken down back shy of the 20. On 1st and 10, it's Haskins. Into heavy traffic, and it's intercepted. It's Shaq Thompson here with a pick. And they are going to set up shop at the 32-yard line. I'm not sure exactly what they had planned for play number 1 from scrimmage, but I can guarantee it wasn't that interception.
No doubt about that one, because in their daydream, this was going to be a dream play to get things started. Instead, it turned into a nightmare for them.
They'll run on 1st down. McLean. And he'll get about 3 as he's brought down to the 28.
What's the old expression, 3 yards in a cloud of dust? In this case, it's dust-covered pellets. It's no longer that old grass that we used to play on, right, and chew it up. Now we've got that artificial surface. You see the pellets go up.
And under the Lions' pressure, he's brought down. Trey Flowers able to record his 5th sack of the season. They got to figure this out. They got to figure him out. 4 sacks last week. Now 1 in the first quarter. What do?
Well, great pass rushers usually have a go-to move, but the best pass rushers, they have counters to their go-to move. So they'll show you that. Then when you adjust, they counter it and still get to the quarterback. And you don't pile up that many sacks. What do you have, 4 in the game last week? Without having some go-to moves with counters.
It's a 15-yard pickup, but it'll lead to a 4th down.
Boy, they had a lot of real estate to make up there, but what a big-time play for them. Nice completion, excellent game. Now they're in 4th and manageable.
Just a little short, though, with that marker. In the end, the opening drive, Charles, does yield points. Maybe not the touchdown that they wanted, though.
Yeah, but bottom line, they wanted to get something out of that drive, and they did that. 3 points, they won't turn that down at all.
This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Now we get a peek at the captain of this offense heading back out there. And he comes out on the heels of an interception he threw last time they had the ball.
Yeah, and you know, the quarterbacks that I know that are the best ones, the ones that really know how to lead their team, they tell them, that's on me. That's my bad. But let's go back out there and move ahead again, guys. We can get this done.
One good thing for him, it did only lead to 3 points and not a touchdown after that turnover.
Big thanks to the defense.
Now the first play of the drive there is incomplete. An incomplete pass leads to 2nd and 10 from the 25. They'll run for the first time with Johnson. He'll have a 1st down past the 40. And he's free going down the left side. It's a foot race. Touchdown, Detroit. Kerryon Johnson, his 2nd touchdown on the season. And the Lions have taken the lead. And those are the highlight reel runs you dream of right there.
When he gets a seam and just gets through it, how about the explosiveness, the burst to get there to begin with, and then once he's in full gallop, good luck trying to track him down.
And those plays so demoralizing for the defense.
Absolutely, because you've done so much work trying to keep people in front of you. When they're past you and behind you, that's a tough one to swallow.
And it's a pretty good return here as he'll get it up to the 29-yard line. Now the Panthers offense, they get set to come back onto the field. And after the field goal last time, we'll see what they can get here. And at least they got points out of the last drive, Charles.
I never met an offensive coach that didn't want to drive to end with a kick. Most of them wanted to end with a PAT, right? In this case, a field goal, they'll take it way better than the alternative, which is a punt.
Yeah, but you met fan bases that wanted that, that weren't happy with that field goal.
I haven't met a fan base yet that wants to drive to end with a kick, other than the extra point. That's it.
On second down, McLean. The Red Sea parts, and there he goes. And he'll take this into the end zone. Touchdown, Carolina. A big play there. His first touchdown here of the new campaign. And the Panthers are going to jump back in front. So the points coming fast and furious in this opening quarter. Whoa.
Yeah, both defenses, they're looking pretty exploited right now with the way these offenses are attacking. They are a step behind, back on their heels, whatever cliche you want to use. Right now, they're trying to figure out how to slow them down, and I'm not sure they're going to be able to.
And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Back onto the field comes the offense. Let's take a closer look at Kerryon Johnson. And no doubt he's come out of the gate strong, only in week 3, and you see the numbers thus far.
And we always talk about identity, setting a tone, getting the groundwork laid for the season or for a game. And that's what they've done with the running game so far. It reminds me of when I first went to the University of Tennessee. And believe it or not, I was a quarterback for a day and a half. And the first practice session, the first play we ran was 28 pitch, which is a toss sweep. And I remember the offense coordinator saying, that's our identity, that's our bread and butter, that's the basis of our offense. We got to get that down right here, right now. And I think we're seeing some of that in this running game here.
So did you not get that down, and that's why you were moved to the defense, or what?
I don't know for that reason, but I do know I saw a couple of guys throw, and immediately they were saying, you need to learn how to backpedal.
Hey, you turned into a heck of a DB, though, partner. Looking to throw, Haskins. And that is incomplete. Oh, he had a defender right there with him to force that to the ground. And fourth down now coming up. So the defense able to get off the field here on third down.
And it's one of the goals of the game. They've got to be effective on passing downs. It's one of the few things defenses chart. How did we do on third down? That's a nice start for them in this one.
Carolina getting set to take the field. And for them, a touchdown their last go-around. Obviously, they'll be hoping to do that again.
And when you start plotting for this drive, when you start thinking to yourself, okay, what are we going to do? You don't go away from what you did before because that worked, but you have to be prepared for wrinkles and counters because you know they'll make some adjustments.
And past the 40 before he's out of bounds. The Panthers have the first. It's a gain of 12. A check on the numbers by Moore last week. 4 catches, 89 yards, and a touchdown.
And what we just saw there was exactly what they need against this defense. Big plays. They were able to pick up a first down on that one.
Here's a quick hitch route, and the throw complete. This will be stopped about 2 yards shy of the marker. 8-yard gain, 2nd and 2. Facing a 2nd and 2 after that last catch, good for 8 yards. This is McCaffrey. And he'll be brought down at the 45-yard line.
2nd and 2 is prime time for a little bit of a gamble, isn't it? Open up the playbook, go play action, toss that bad boy deep. But in this situation, go ahead and give it to your back. Let him pick up a first down, keep the sticks moving.
So the ball moves into Lion territory now. Here's 1st and 10 at the 45-yard line. He'll look to throw. Wide open receiver complete. And he'll go down, but not before getting this inside the 30. A good pickup there at 20 yards.
A lot of tight ends just use their size and their strength, try to occupy some space and kind of body people away and catch the football. But not this guy. He's a refined route runner. Makes me wonder if he took some dance classes in his background with his footwork.
And he will take it across for a Panthers touchdown. A great play there with his 2nd touchdown in this opening quarter. And the Panthers, they widen their lead. And a pair of rushing touchdowns now for him in the first quarter.
And I'm liking what I'm seeing from his big guys up front because they're winning the leverage game. How many times we talk about low man wins, right? Move the defensive front aside, create those gaps and holes. He's found his way through them for 2 touchdowns.
And after both of those touchdowns, he went right up to that O-line and hit each of them on the helmet. He recognized it.
That's a smart man. You know what else he should do? If this continues, take them all to dinner.
This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. So here come the Lions now. And down on the scoreboard, certainly needing to avoid what happened on the last drive, punting the football.
Sense of urgency has to take over for them here. They know the score. They know the situation. And by the way, the punter no longer exists for their offense. That's how they have to treat this drive.
They need points.
Big time.
After the loss to start out, here's 2nd and 11. Johnson on the counter. And an alley to run. And able to stay on his feet past the 30 to about the 33-yard line. They get 9 yards back on the run there, and they're left with a much more makeable 3rd and 2. 3rd and 2, now Haskins. Oh, he's got a man wide open, complete. And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. 15 yards for the Lions there on a 1st down. Now a fake on the give here as they try to run pass option. And taking it across midfield and inside the 45. It's a gain of 10 for the Lions and a 1st down. So from Panther territory now, it's 1st and 10 at the 42-yard line. Off the draw, here's Johnson. And that'll hurt the average a bit as this time they're able to get him behind the line. It's a loss of 2 there, bringing up 2nd down.
Brandon, that play certainly felt like what I call a tendency breaker. 1st and 10, they dial up a draw play. That's not a normal situation, but give credit to the defense. They weren't fooled at all and really finished off the play.
They'll run it with Johnson. And he'll just get back to the line of scrimmage, if that. And with a flag on the field. And that one looks to be in the area where someone was held. So some holding over on the left side of that O-line.
And I know for the guys trying to move those big defensive people, they'd love for them to stay in one spot. But they move around so quick and so fast that sometimes you just have to grab them.
Now they face a 2nd and long following the holding penalty. Here's Haskins to throw. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Shaq tops it, making his presence felt on the sack.
2 sacks last week, another one right here. He's been unblockable lately, and I think that goes all the way back to not just his offseason, but the film study he's been doing during the week, because I think he's found matchups that he likes, and he's capitalizing.
A few times he's even defeated double teams. He doesn't care at this point. They get 13, but it's not nearly enough, and it'll be 4th down.
But it appears that they read man defense and went to the out route, and what you have to do on that one is the receiver's got to make sure he works the defender towards the middle of the field to give himself space to cut to the outside and have that ball delivered with good timing, and they got it done.
Let's go!
Christian McCaffrey and the Panthers about set to go on offense. We're in the 2nd quarter. They've got the lead. The lead, though, not so much because of the ground game, because of their air attack, Charles.
So what they're seeing so far is the possibility of things loosening up later in the ground game. Through the air first, maybe have to start respecting that even more as the game goes on, and then there will be running lanes to find later.
Yeah, try to get him more involved here on this drive, maybe. A big hitter to start the drive has him up near midfield here for 1st and 10. Another run, this time McCaffrey. What a spin. Pushing forward for 3 up to the 48.
When we see those runs to the perimeter, when we see those runs to the edge, we think about big breakers, don't we? In this case, it was a modest gain, but it does open up possibilities here on 2nd down.
I can't believe they even let you play. Watch the sit.
Here's a 2nd and 7. Firing quickly here, and that's complete. And it's going to be another 1st down as they'll get him to the ground at the Lions' 34-yard line.
Let's go.
His position, and he's listed as a tight end, but he certainly doesn't run like one, and that's what we're seeing more and more coming into the league. Those guys who can run, make plays after the catch, and gain that additional yardage.
And using that speed there to turn it into a pretty nice little game. And he was able to shed the tackle, but the reserves come in for the stop. Credit the tackle that time to Deshaun Hand.
I call that play a success. A nice inside run sets up a very manageable 2nd down. A very solid gain on that play.
Watch the ship. Hey, watch the ship. Watch the ship.
On second down now, McLean. And they'll be inside the 25 now at the 24. 7 yards there and a first down.
We both know it's difficult, but they've made it look effortless out there. Through the air, on the ground, they've moved the ball with relative ease.
They'll set up to throw. Oh, that was dangerous. Threw it into coverage, almost picked, but instead they'll keep it on second down. From the 24, they'll go again on 2nd and 10. 2nd and 10. And he fires one that's intercepted. Bernardrick McKinney, the linebacker, picks it. There he goes left side. And he will bring it back. An interception return for a Lions touchdown. Short throw, pick six right there, those linebackers. They love when those short throws come and those eyes get real wide, don't they?
How about the anticipation on the play? Reading, reacting, and then the ability to catch the football and take it in the opposite direction.
Extra point by Gay is up and good. And the lead's down to a field goal at 17-14. This will be taken in at the 1. And his guys will get the football right at the 20-yard line. Here's the Carolina offense as they get ready to take over here. And following the pick six, and they have decent field position in throwing that pick six. We'll see how they attack this drive.
And I think all you say to your guy is, listen, let's just take care of the football a little bit better. Make some better decisions on this drive, and they'll probably help him a little bit with maybe some really high percentage throws early to let him get settled back in.
But they told him, they told us, they've got confidence. That's not a problem.
Yeah, not a problem at all. They just want to make sure they get things settled down a little bit for their offense and give their defense a little bit of a chance to rest.
On second down, McLean. And he'll get it up near the 35, right at the 34 here. That one, a first down pickup of 8.
Now, this is an example of breaking down a defense, because on a lot of these runs, he's getting past the point of attack, and guess what he's doing? Forcing the secondary guys to have to make a lot of tackles.
From the 34 now, here's 1st and 10. They'll drop the throw. A fight for the football, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Preston Brown, the linebacker. That's sort of a second quarter to forget for him. Now 2 picks in this frame.
Almost as if the first one that he threw, he couldn't shake, couldn't get it out of his head. He ends up throwing a second one as a result.
Compounds the mistake a little bit.
Yeah, you got to be able to forget, compartmentalize, whatever you want to call it, and move on. He hasn't been able to do so in the second.
Now a quick slant as the throw's complete. And he's got this down to the 35. First down Detroit, 16 yards on the pickup. A first down carry here for Johnson. 2 yards on the carry there. It'll be second down.
Well, we saw him there trying to get it to the outside, trying to get to the perimeter, but not a whole lot of room there. But there's got to be one positive to that. If you keep moving laterally, creases tend to develop as the game moves on, and they can run it back inside later.
They try to throw on second down, but this one is incomplete. Fair to say, hasn't been his best game throwing the football, but also not getting a lot of help out there either.
Yeah, you nailed it pretty well, you know. He's got to throw it better. Got to get more help. Obviously one that should have been caught.
Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Shaq Thompson able to get in there for his second sack of the afternoon. Man, he got in there so quickly, Charles. What could the offense have done to adjust and account for that?
But what you're hoping is that you figure out and you see and get a clue that maybe there's going to be some pressure coming at you, and you change the blocking schemes. Maybe you go to max protection. The biggest one is maybe you bring your running back in to try and keep you clean. But in that case, that didn't happen. Zero accountability, and a sack resulted.
A 59-yard attempt.
And that one's not going to get there. Not enough juice, an ambitious effort, but it's well short. And this score will stay right where it is. Well, I was watching him in warm-ups, and he hit a 62-yarder that hit the crossbar and went over. This one a little bit inside of that, but not enough leg.
And the difference is what?
Well, your live conditions, right?
Live conditions, game conditions are a whole lot different than practice, where you just pop it up there, no rush, no pressure. I think maybe that takes a couple yards away from you when you have to do it when it's real.
The run defense, they have been porous at times today, but not that last go-around.
No, they really tightened it up, didn't they? They finally got themselves a win because all game long we've seen them get gashed. This time they played their responsibilities, played their keys, and made a nice stop. You can see the time and effort and thought that they put into their passing game because it was evident right there. It looks like a simple pitch and catch, but you and I both know that they have planned for this and worked hard to make it happen.
2 minutes remaining in this first half of football. A reminder, once we hit halftime, as we do all season, we'll send it down to Jonathan Coachman in Orlando. He'll have all the stats and scores from games in progress around the NFL.
The best multitasker in the business, the coach.
Now a third down throw, but it misses the target, incomplete.
You hear the calls for a penalty, but I just don't think so. I think in this situation, the defender was making sure his guy couldn't hold on to the football. So I don't see anything that warranted a flag.
No, I'm with you. There was contact, but I'm happy they kept that flag in the back pocket. And this ball's going to be down now right at the 10-yard line. Good spot.
Well, someone's going to be happy with that effort. You know who else is going to be happy? His defense.
Absolutely.
He's created a very long field for that offense to try to traverse.
And he got some help from Mr. Football there, checking up nicely. Good English on that punt. On first down, it's Haskins. And he's going to be taken down. Sacked back at the 2. That's a corner that got in there for the sack. Dante Jackson.
I'm starting to feel for that quarterback back there. I mean, you know me. Normally, don't have a lot of empathy for the QB, right? In this case, definitely. He's been under constant duress this entire game. I don't know how he's surviving back there.
And to think, there's still a long way to go in this football game. Now the Panthers going to use the first of their timeouts as they'll talk it over here before what will be an important third down.
Let's go. Bang, 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 bang.
On the ground, this is Johnson. And he gets it up to the 10-yard line here. The Panthers going to use the second of their timeouts as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next. Here's Jordan Berry now as he's on to punt for Detroit. He's been a busy man here in this first half as he gets it away. Let's take it inside his own 40. Well, nice job on the return there, 16 yards. And the Panthers will take over in terrific field position. An NFL update there in the second quarter in Baltimore. And it's the Browns out to the early advantage. I would definitely imagine we'll hear more from that game as we go along. They'll come out throwing here on first down. He's got a first down and more inside the 30. And down to the 20 he'll go before heading out of bounds. 25 yards that time.
I don't know whether I want to be a fly on the wall or not when they hear the explanation of how one of the bigger targets on the field, the tight end could be that wide open and uncovered downfield. Who blew that assignment?
Somebody did.
No doubt about it. There's no way you're not going to account for it.
And he'll take this into the end zone. Touchdown, Carolina. Christian McCaffrey, his third touchdown now on the year. And the Panthers, they widen their lead. And that'll give them a 2-score lead here, but I'm looking ahead. They just want to hold it for the final moments here in the second quarter. They don't want to give up anything on the other side.
No, not at all, because if they don't, it almost had the feel of an imposing their will score. And right now, they want to make sure they keep that and carry it into the second half.
That'll be taken in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes after the... The Detroit offense ready to begin their drive. And you're under a minute to go in the half, a first half that hasn't been particularly kind to you. How do you think they'll play this?
Well, I think the smart approach is to run out the clock, lick your wounds at the half, and see if you can come up with a strategy to play better in the second. But There's also something to challenging your offense right here. You know, hey, guys, you help dig this hole. See if you can get us out of it a little bit before the half runs out. Let's go make some plays.
So flag for the contact, pass interference.
And I know that you're going to look at me and roll your eyes, and rightfully so, because you know what I'm going to say. Doesn't the defender have a right to the football as well?
No, I don't like defenders.
That's because you spend too much time with me. Okay, I'll side with you on this one. It's the correct call. And when you're playing a quarterback with some experience and some moxie, you enter the danger zone when you decide to blitz him, because if he's able to diagnose as he did on that play, he can hurt you downfield.
He reads defense. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. The Lions will use the first of their timeouts as they'll stop it with just over 40 seconds to go in the first half.
Right here.
Third down. Here's Haskins. And Stills bringing it in. And he'll be taken down, but not before he works it past the 50. The Lions now going to use the second of their timeouts as the clock will stop with 35 seconds to go in quarter number 2.
Strong left. Watch the run.
Haskins looking to throw on first down. Open man is Galladay, complete. And he's corralled at the 40, but not before picking up 8. A good pickup there. 8 yards on the first down completion. Facing a 2nd and 2 after that last catch, good for 8 yards. He'll get this one to Galladay. Touchdown, Detroit! Kenny Galladay in the final seconds of the first half, as they are now just an extra point away from making this a 3-point game.
Terrific. Touchdown. I know we've got a game now.
Yeah, I think anytime you go to the second half down just 1 or 2 scores, you feel not where you want to be, but in a pretty good spot.
And I think for most teams, when they go into the half in this situation, it's not a lot of adjusting going on. It's much more, all right, guys, let's just play a little bit better than we did in the first half.
Fielded about a yard deep.
Let's go, boys. Bring it up.
So we've reached halftime, and we will skip the highlight show this week. Get right back to this Week 3 matchup. The Panthers out in front, and they will get the football first. Second half action underway. This is fielded at the goal line. And a pretty good return here. He'll be stopped just shy of the 25 at the 24-yard line. Out come the Panthers. They'll have it first on offense in the third quarter. They have the lead now. They'll be looking for some separation here as we begin the third quarter.
I like the way you term that, because now I think they go a little bit deeper into their playbook. They like what they did in the first half. That worked okay. But in order to get the separation that you just talked about, change things up a little bit. Change your tendencies, try and hit them a little bit more with some things they didn't see in the first half.
Let's see if they do just that. Benardrick McKinney there to make the stop.
Partner, I think from our experience together, we have learned that most offensive coordinators are going to tell you, if I'm going to run the football on first down, I've got to get at least 4 yards. They got 5 here. They've got to feel pretty good about that one.
2nd and 5. And he finds a man with a crossing route. And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. It's a Panthers first down, 17 yards on the play.
The goal for any offense versus his own defense, find the holes where guys are available and put the ball in the receiver before any defender can step up and fill it.
They did it well there. Perfectly executed crossing route. Pretty nice work defensively there on the first down run as they hold him to a gain of a couple. Give him a couple on the carry there. 2nd and 8. The last run got a couple. Here's 2nd and 8. Here's 2nd and 8. That's caught by the big tight end, Dallas Goedert. And this will be stopped at the 44. That one good for 7 yards. The reception good for 7. It's third down.
Let's not quibble about the gain there on 2nd down. That was a positive play because that was a take-what-you-can-get situation. Got out to the tight end. Now it gives them much better opportunity to convert on 3rd down.
They'll try and pick it up with McCaffrey. And brought down, but able to get it to their 30-yard line. 14 yards, good for a Panther first down.
Brandon, they're still in the lead, but momentum's certainly been going the opposite direction. So to me, that's a really important pickup there on third down.
Try and regain some confidence, and you're right. They need to stem the tide a little bit. That certainly helped.
He's coming. We got double up. Check 3, check crap. Check nickel.
Back to the ground on first. It's McCaffrey. Ooh, with a juke. So he got free of one tackle, but couldn't do a whole lot else. Credit the tackle to Darius Slay.
They're trying to show that they can run the ball and protect this lead. Give it to the backs, play a little bit of keep away, don't you think?
And that's probably a good philosophy at this point, going to make that defense stand up and stop them.
Let's go, Heavy. Heavy, what you got? Heavy?
He'll drop to throw. This is caught, and he will take it across for a Panthers touchdown. DJ Moore, his second touchdown on the season. And the Panthers, they widen their lead. A good, sustained drive there in this third quarter, capping it off with a touchdown to give them a nice 2-score advantage.
It was actually a fun one to watch, wasn't it? I mean, for me, seeing the mix of what they did, how they moved the ball downfield, very sharp, too. Each and every play seemed to be executed with great dispatch.
And Lambeau now, after the touchdown, he'll kick this one away. This is fielded a couple yards deep. And he'll be brought down at the 23, make it the 24-yard line. The Lions offense ready to kick off their next drive. And their halftime hole now even deeper. And they need a big drive here just to answer the first touchdown of the second half scored against them.
They were down at the half. Now, as you mentioned, they're down a little bit bigger, but no time for discouragement. Just got to get back to it, right? Put your shoulder against the boulder and start pushing and try and get back to where you were to start the half. I think it all came together there. In-breaking route. Drove it with excellent pace. Money throw right there to move the sticks.
That's going to go as a loss of 2, and it'll be second down.
But these guys are going to chop into that deficit. They got to do a much better job in the run game. Caught behind the line of scrimmage, no yardage to be found.
On 2nd and 12, Haskins, screenplay, Johnson. And he'll lose yardage on the play back at the 37-yard line. It'll wind up being a loss of 2. And that'll force upon him a 3rd and 14. Couple of plays sent him the wrong way, and now they face a 3rd and 14. Now Haskins, 3rd and long. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Shaq Thompson able to record his 5th sack of the season.
Brandon, I think you understand the type of afternoon this offensive line is having. It is a long one for them. Long for you to spend it with me. Long for them trying to block those guys. They've given up a whole lot of sacks, and the speed and quickness of that defensive line is eating them alive.
Here's Jordan Berry now, as he'll punt it away for the 4th time today. This is taken at the 23. A 46-yard boot, but just 36 following a pretty decent return of 10 yards. And the Panthers will take over now, 1st and 10. Carolina getting set to take the field. And they're hoping to redo their efforts in the last drive when they got into the end zone.
And just think of what it's like now on the sideline, because when you score a touchdown, you have to go over and look at the tablet and see what you did on the last drive. When you scored points, it's a whole lot better view than when you're trying to figure out how to fix things there.
Mike 5-5, Mike 55, Mike 5-5. Oh, yeah.
They're going to look to throw. He's going to look deep for more. And that'll be incomplete. Good protection that time, and they couldn't hook up on the long one. Now it's 3rd down.
One of the toughest things about playing defensive back is pattern reading, trying to figure out what they're doing. And on that one, they had the fly, just sending a guy downfield with the in route accompanying it, what people call a dagger route, trying to hit the guy underneath after the clear out. In this case, though, they're not able to get it done.
Yeah, they said forget the underneath route. They went for the guy on the fly, but as you said, incomplete.
Well, this was just simply excellent defense. On this third down, they had to be alert for the possibility of a pass, but that didn't stop them at all from understanding what was going on when they decided to run the football. They just swarmed and stuffed them for almost no gain.
So a change of possession here on the punt. And the Lions are going to take over with a long field ahead and a 1st and 10. Back onto the field comes the offense. Let's take a closer look at Kerryon Johnson. He's had a good performance, moved the ball effectively on the ground. Of course, he has the 1 touchdown. Johnson on poke free. Football's out. And just no chance of turning the corner. He can only get back to the line of scrimmage. 2nd and 10 coming up.
Wow, that ball gets knocked free, but a teammate comes along and scoops it up. It's almost like baseball. Guys at bat, people are on base in scoring position. One guy doesn't get him home. The next guy comes through and picks him up.
And avoids the turnover. Now, meanwhile, here's a 2nd down throw that's knocked away and incomplete.
And now offensively it's 3rd and 10, and I'm just thinking to myself, actors always say, what's my motivation before a big scene? Right now the play caller's thinking, what have I done before that's worked well that I can go to right now?
Yeah, because they were pretty successful in the first half scoring points. Haven't done anything so far here in the second half. Now a 10th carry for Johnson. And he's going to be stopped well short of what he needed as the tackle is made at the 18-yard line. It's a gain of just 3, and the offense likely going to yield to the punting unit here on 4th down.
We often talk of situational football. Let's just call it team football. The defense did their job, got off the field, brought the punting situation, so they're turning the ball back over to their offense. You think those guys are getting along very well right now? Of course they will. Defense helped the offense. Now it's their turn to take it downfield.
Elsewhere at Arrowhead, they're in the 3rd quarter. And you saw the score at the bottom of your screen a moment ago. We got a good one going on there. And we'll keep an eye on that one as our game goes along here. The Panthers out there and ready to begin their next drive. This crew had to punt last time they had the ball, but when you've got a lead like this, you content to play the field position game?
You are to an extent, especially if you like your defense, because you have the lead, you've been controlling the game. But why put them in a tougher spot? You want to get out there and get something done on offense and maybe take command of this game yourself.
Got out of the pocket. Didn't look like he had anybody open, Charles, so just gets rid of it.
And a good play by him. If no one's open and you don't have a running lane that you want to take, make the right choice. Get rid of it. Live to fight another down.
Here's 2nd and 10 now from the 29. Oh, design run for their wideout. Across the 30 to the 31-yard line. Just a couple on the pickup there, and now it's 3rd down.
Well, that's a good start to this drive on the defensive side of the ball.
Foreseeing completion on 1st down. Then you're able to shut down the running play on 2nd.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised now. A little bit of pressure going at the quarterback in the expected passing situation.
Yeah, hey, Mike. Hey, no, switch the mic right here.
On 3rd down, he'll drop to throw. He's going to look deep for more. This is caught at the 20. A big play there for the Panthers. And even 50 yards.
Just more of the same there, partner. Guys have just been running free in the secondary this entire game. No pass rush, a lot of passes completed. It's been an easy day for them.
On 1st down, this is McCaffrey. And he'll be brought down on what's going to turn out to be the final play of this 3rd quarter. It'll be 1st and goal when we come back. This is the National Football League on EA Sports. A good chance now to put this game on ice. This is 1st and goal.
Mike, 55. Check, 55. Mike.
Back to throw. This will be caught at about the 5. And he'll take this into the end zone. Touchdown, Carolina. Dallas Goedert, his 2nd touchdown on the season. And the Panthers, they widen their lead. Boy, it's nice to have that big, reliable target you can go to.
Each and every time. A lot of people see that position as a fallback. Throw it to them when all else fails. Not at all. This guy can make plays, and that's exactly what he just did.
Yeah, play here for a touchdown. 5 plays there on that drive. And the end result, a Panthers touchdown. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Here's the Detroit offense now as they head back out onto the field. These guys had to punt their last possession, and that's become too familiar of a refrain. Too many of these drives just wound up going nowhere.
Well, you know how in baseball when the pitcher gets a base hit and he's on base, they bring his jacket out to him to keep him warm? A lot of times the punter goes to the sideline, puts on sweatpants or a wrap over.
Into a double team, and it's intercepted. It's Shaq Thompson here with a pick. And his guys are going to take over at the 31-yard line. Both defenses have had their struggles, but they've been good enough to get them this lead, and another nice play there to help preserve the lead.
It's been a game of punch-counter-punch, hasn't it? All throughout. But this time, the big swing was taken, and it didn't land. Nice play by them on defense.
Line of scrimmage, the 31 now on 1st and 10. They'll run with McCaffrey. He'll be dropped at the 25 after a gain of 6.
Well, that's a pretty good drive starter right there. And I don't know, partner, if you're even thinking about sitting on the ball right now. They may just want to run their regular offense.
In plus territory, and as an offensive coordinator, you don't want your team to go into a shell, do you?
No, you really don't, because as soon as you take your foot off the gas, it's real hard to put it back on and mash it, because once everyone's emotions come down, hard to start them up again. So I think you may want to keep them cranking high right here.
Still throwing the football here, even with the big lead.
Yeah, I know you and I came up in a different era, and we think about sportsmanship and all that. Other people think about fantasy points and getting their numbers. That's all they care about right now.
Here we go. Watch the pass. Joker.
They'll try and run for it on 1st and goal. And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line. Call it a loss of 2 on the play. And it'll be 2nd and goal. It's 2nd and goal, back to the 8-yard line now.
Watch out.
Now back to throw. He'll be hit and taken down at the 21. Trey Hendrickson able to run him down for a loss of 12 that time.
2nd goal, last thing you need to do is get pushed backwards to take a sack. But he couldn't find anywhere to go with the football. Had to eat it and ended up on the ground.
Well, they need to reverse the trend. The last 2 plays have gone backwards. Now it's 3rd and goal. Back to throw here. Going to throw right side here, complete. And so close, he gets it to the 1. Out of bounds right there. A big play, but still not enough. Leads to a 4th and goal. They have the nice cushion. They just want to pour it on right now, still throwing the football.
And I know my background says, why do you need to do this? Just go ahead and run out the clock and get a win. But as many people have pointed out to me, it's a video game, man. Go ahead and put the numbers up. Sportsmanship, not an issue.
Exercise those fingers. Now after the made field goal, back out Lambeau to kick this one off. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Out comes this field general once more, leading his offense back onto the field. And that interception that ended their previous drive likely also ended any shot they had at victory.
Yeah, long road back from here, no doubt about that one. But let's face it, if you're going to go out there and compete, you want to try and end on a strong note, don't you?
Absolutely. It won't end in a victory like you said, but they can maybe take something positive out of this one. 1st down Lions on a pickup of 13. Haskins now 5 straight completions here in this second half. 1st and 10. Now Haskins on 1st down. It's complete. Stills. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. 1st down Detroit, 16 yards on the pickup. So signs of life in what's been a dormant offense in this second half. Here's 1st and 10. Haskins will throw toward the center of the field, but it's incomplete. Just nothing there again. He's been sacked multiple times. We've seen the interceptions, of course. He's really been through the ringer, hasn't he?
And what we've seen is a defense that's well coordinated. The front and the back really in sync. The front putting on the pressure. The back
under a heavy rush. rush, and down he goes. Shaq Thompson in there to get him, and that is sack number 6 now for him on the year.
We've been around this league for a while, and many coaches never pull their starting quarterback, almost no matter the situation. In this case, though, I think he's got to make a decision. He's taking a pretty good beating out there.
Yeah, with the deficit, maybe not wanting to risk an injury. Now throwing on 3rd down there, but he cannot connect. Another incompletion. You know, it's a wonder he's still moving around back there the number of times he's been sacked.
Yeah, he's staying out there, isn't he? And you don't think about it much in a game like this, but he's showing incredible leadership. Still competing, still fighting, not taking himself out of a ball game that appears lost.
Now they go for it on 4th, but this one is going to wind up incomplete. Boy, it looked like he had it and dropped it. And this defense will take over right at midfield. Well, that's another mistake there on the drop pass on 4th, and we've seen him do things like this all game.
It's not hard to figure out why they're down by that deficit. They haven't made plays that are going to keep them in the game or win the game all game long. That's another example right there. It all boils down at the end of it to execution.
He's got it at the 15. Touchdown, Carolina. Curtis Samuel, his first touchdown of the new season. And the Panthers, they widen their lead. They were still throwing with a comfortable lead here late, and now that lead even more comfortable.
And your first thought is there bad blood that went into this one ahead of time, that maybe they're seeking some revenge or they just don't like them? But the other thing that always hits me is, are they worried about playoff positioning? Right? Are they worried about, do you need enough points in case there's a tiebreaker that comes into play later?
Extra point tacked on by Lambeau. And the decision to just kick the extra point winds up successful. Fielded about a yard deep. And a good effort on the return there. Gets him across the 30 to the 33-yard line. Here again comes the captain of this offense leading his crew back out there now. So, Charles, there are the numbers. What's happened here? Defensive adjustments that's caused him to sort of fall off a bit?
I think so. That has to happen. You've got to make some changes because in the first half, they were pretty effective. But the second part is sometimes when you're doing really well, you get off your game a little bit. You get off the gas a little. You're like, okay, we've got this thing. And that's not necessarily the case. Maybe right now, someone just needs to tell a joke in the huddle, loosen things up, and get their big guy going again.
Now Haskins to throw it, and he will find his man on the end route, complete. It's a gain of 10 for the Lions and a first down. So signs of life in what's been a dormant offense in this second half. Here's 1st and 10. Here's Haskins. Oh, he dropped it. And that's pretty indicative of the way this one's gone. They work again from the 38 on 2nd and 10. Second and 10 now. Haskins. Open man. He's got him. The tight end, Hawkinson. And the play goes nowhere. Losing yardage back near the 40 at the 39. The Lions on 3rd down. Not so hot. 2 for 9 to this point. This is 3rd and 11 from the gun. A run for Johnson. And he's going to be brought down short of the first at about the 31-yard line. He's able to chew up 8 yards on the carry there, but still 4th down upcoming.
Despite the blitz, they're still able to pick up a nice solid gain. The disadvantage of blitzing often alters the normal spacing and run fits and leaves creases like they were able to.
Oh, they get to the football. It's blocked. It's picked up. A live ball here, remember. Checking the NFL scoreboard. They're in the 4th now in Minneapolis. The gap has widened there. The Packers have scored again. A win would be their 2nd on the young season. The Panthers out there and ready to begin their next drive. The outcome of this one, well, we know who's going to win it. It's just all window dressing at this point. Got me thinking, what's the biggest blowout that you've been a part of as a player, broadcaster?
Well, I'm not going to go to the player part because when I think blowout...
Because you won every game as a player.
No. I think about being blown out. And no one wants to go back to those memories. But, you know, when I was calling college football, I saw a game that team put 70. I actually saw it happen twice. A team put 70 on their opponent. And in the NFL in the 2017 season, I saw one of those changing of the guard games where a team that hadn't been very good before now was dominating and kicking around a team who had been ruling their division.
And that's when you earn your paycheck, right? As the analyst, you got to fill that time.
You've got to know what's going on out there and how it all happened.
Well, obviously that begs the question, what game was it?
That was Seattle hosting Los Angeles. The Rams,
yeah.
Their second meeting of the season, and the Rams turned it around from their first one and blew out the Seahawks.
Almost unstoppable on the ground there, as that one is good for 39. Now a chance to make that big play really hurt. It's 1st and goal just outside the 5.
Check. Check hot route. Hot. Check.
They'll keep it on the ground. McLean. And they go the wrong way on this one. Losing yardage back at the 12. Call it a loss of 6 on the play. And that'll make it 2nd and goal. They'll try again on 2nd and goal after going backwards to the 12. Here's McCaffrey. And he'll find his way down inside the 10 to the 9-yard line. It's a pickup of 3, but still a little work to do on 3rd and goal.
Partner, I know we're in a goal-to-go situation, but my goodness, think about running the ball here. Not even a thought, is it?
Defensively, they're in a prime spot.
And I think the defensive guys are probably expressing themselves to them as well.
And this will be caught. And the carnage continues. It's another touchdown. No surprise there. 3rd and goal down here. That's where they're going to look for their tight end.
Yeah, you want that big guy running his routes because it doesn't matter who they cover him with. If it's another big guy, he might use his bulk against it. If it's a shorter defender, might go over the top. Either way, you tend to find a little bit of a mismatch in that area.
Point after by Lambeau, up and good. They've gone final now out in Kansas City, and it was the Chiefs who emerged victorious there. And if they could hold on to that lead, it would be win number 4 on the season for them. And a couple yards deep, he'll go to a knee. He won't return it, and they'll take it out to the 25. The Detroit offense ready to begin their drive. They are just obviously getting shellacked here in this one, Charles. What's the message if you're a coach for this final drive in a lopsided game like this?
For a lot of coaches, be honest, don't forget today. Don't forget what has happened out here.
Use that as ammo going forward.
Exactly. Take a great look at that scoreboard. Realize how poorly everything went for us today. Coaching, playing, the whole deal. And never forget it, because
you're not going to want that feeling again.
No, you don't want that feeling again. And who knows? You may meet up with this team again. And
this will be stopped at the 44. That one good for 7 yards. A big offensive explosion helped leading them to victory. And the defensive guys, they're just saying, hey, put those points up every week. We'll just keep winning.
They will gratefully accept them, won't they? It makes their job that much easier when they're scoring that many points. Allows them to play with a totally different style and a different flow.
So for the Panthers, they get back in the win column as they move to